Hello, in this video I'm going to work through some examples of solving trig equations using the trig identity sine of x over cosine of x is tan of x. Now, if you're completely new to solving trig equations, I'd probably recommend you go back and watch some of my previous videos on how to solve them, and I'll link those in the video description. And if this is useful, please do go over to my channel where you can check out all of my other maths tutorials, and also my website, which I'll link in the description, where it's a bit easier to navigate through all of the different topics. Okay, let's look at this first example where we need to solve 2 sine x equals 3 cos x, and we're solving this for values of x between 0 and 360 degrees. So the first thing you want to do usually when solving a trig equation is try and rewrite it so that sine of x, cos of x or tan of x is the subject, if it's possible to do that. And so the way I'm going to rewrite this equation is by making use of the trig identity sine of x over cos of x is the same as tan of x. And so what I'm going to do first is divide both sides of this equation by cosine of x. And so when I do that, my equation is going to become 2 lots of sine of x over cos of x equals 3. And from here, if I wanted to, I could rewrite this part, sine x over cos of x, as tan of x. Or I could first, if I wanted to, divide both sides of the equation by 2 to get rid of that 2 there. It doesn't really make a difference what order you do it in. So I'm going to use the trig identity first. So I'm going to replace sine over cos with tan. And so my equation is now going to be 2 lots of tan of x is equal to 3. And so I can divide both sides by 2. And now I'm solving tan of x equals 3 over 2. So from here, what I'm going to do is draw a rough sketch of my graph. I always like to draw a rough sketch whenever I'm solving a trig equation. So I know it starts at 0, goes up to an asymptote here at 90 degrees, and then goes back to 0 at 180. Next, I'm going to do inverse tan of 3 over 2, and that's going to tell me what x is equal to. So inverse tan of 3 over 2, if I type that in my calculator to 3 significant figures, I get 56.3 degrees. And so that's going to correspond probably to this point here on the graph, 56.3. So we've got one solution, and that is correct. That's in the interval between 0 and 360 degrees. But there might be some more. And so to check to see if there are any other solutions in this interval, what I'm going to do is add or subtract the period of the graph to this solution. So the period of tan of x is 180 degrees. So I'm just going to add and subtract 180 from this solution and see if I get any more in this interval. Well, immediately I can see if I subtract 180, I'm going to be outside of that interval, so I'm not even going to bother doing that. But if I add on 180, I get another solution of x equals 236.3 degrees. And hopefully again you can see if I add on 180 again, I'll be outside my interval I'm solving in, and so I get these two solutions here as the solutions to the original equation. And we're done. Let's now look at the second question, where we're solving 3 lots of sine squared of x equals cosine squared of x between 0 and pi. So this time we're solving in radians, so it might be a good idea to now change our calculator to radians mode. Now, to actually solve this equation, I have a couple of options. I could use sine squared of x plus cos squared of x is 1 and rewrite either of these terms. So for example, if I take that identity and I subtract sine squared from both sides, I get cos squared of x is equal to 1 minus sine squared of x. Now I could rewrite the right hand side of this equation as 1 minus sine squared of x. So I'm solving where 3 sine squared of x equals 1 minus sine squared of x. I could then add sine squared to both sides and I get 4 sine squared of x is 1. Divide both sides by 4 and I'm now solving where sine squared of x is equal to 1 over 4. But I'd want to solve this using the other trig identity just for the sake of this video, and so that's using sine of x over cos of x is equal to tan of x. Now with this equation you can see both of these terms are squared. So what I could do is take this identity and I could just square both sides of it, and that's going to give me sine squared of x over cos squared of x is the same as tan squared of x. And so what I'm going to do first is divide both sides of this equation by cosine squared, and that's now going to turn this equation into 3 lots of sine squared of x over cosine squared of x, and that equals 1. From here you can now see I've got sine squared over cos squared, which we've just said is equal to tan squared, and so I'm now solving 3 lots of tan squared of x equals 1. Dividing both sides by 3, I get tan squared of x equals 1/3. Now we can square root both sides, and this is going to leave me with 2 equations. Don't forget the plus and the minus one. So I'm going to have to solve where tan of x equals 1 over root 3, and where tan of x equals negative 1 over root 3, because remember, when you square root you get a positive and negative solution. Now it's up to you. From here, if you want, you could sketch out the graph, but for tan I don't really think it's as necessary as it is when solving equations with sine and cosine. So I'm going to go ahead and just do inverse tan of, let's solve this side first, so inverse tan of 1 over root 3, and this tells me x equals pi over 6. Now from here there could be more solutions, and so to check, what I'm going to do is add on the period of the graph. So I'm going to add on pi to this solution, and it tells me x equals 7 pi over 6. Now some people have a bit of trouble knowing whether 7 pi over 6 is within this interval, and so what you can do is actually rewrite 7 pi all over 6 as a decimal, and I get approximately 3.67. Now let's rewrite our interval. So pi is just about 3.14, isn't it? And so you can see 3.67 is more than 3.14, so I'll reject that solution. So I just have this solution here. And again, if you wanted to check, you could do pi divided by 6. That's 0.52, so I can clearly see that's in my interval. I'm now going to solve the equation on the right hand side by doing inverse tan of negative 1 over root 3. Now when I type this into my calculator, it tells me it's negative pi over 6, so that's obviously not in my interval as it's negative, but I'm just going to add on the period of tan, which is pi, and when I add on pi I get x equals 5 pi over 6, which as a decimal is approximately 2.61, so that's okay, that's in the interval I'm solving in, so I can accept this solution. And if I add on pi again as a decimal, I get 5.75, and so it's too big, so I can stop there. So there's only two solutions to this trig equation. Let's solve the final one, which is solving tan of x equals sine of x between 0 and 2 pi. So again, we're working in radians. I'm just going to bring this down so there's a bit more space. Now you might be thinking I can't create sine over cos because there's no cosine in this equation. But we can still use the identity, because remember, we know sine of x over cosine of x is equal to tan of x. And so what I could do is actually rewrite this left-hand side as sine over cos. And you'll see why this is useful. So let's do it. So I get sine of x over cosine of x is equal to sine of x. Now from here I could multiply both sides by cosine of x, because I don't really like having fractions when I'm solving equations. And so this gives me sine of x is equal to sine of x multiplied by cosine of x. Now at this point it might be really tempting to divide both sides by sine of x and get 1 equals cos of x. However, there is a problem with doing this, and the problem is you could end up possibly losing some solutions to your equation, okay? And I'll show you how we should tackle this problem so that we don't lose them. So on the right, I'm going to answer this question how we should. And what that involves is putting everything onto the same side. So I'm going to subtract sine of x from both sides and get 0 equals sine of x times cosine of x minus sine of x. From here, I'm then going to factorize the right-hand side, and I could pull out a factor of sine of x. And so I get sine of x multiplied by cosine of x minus 1. And now you can see I've got two things multiplied together to give 0. So either sine of x equals 0 or cosine of x minus 1 equals 0. So let's write down those two statements. So I've got sine of x equals 0 or cosine of x minus 1 equals 0. And if I add 1 to both sides, I get cosine of x equals 1. Now you can see by dividing both sides by sine earlier, we did get one of these equations that we need to solve, but by dividing both sides by sine I completely removed this other equation, which means I would have missed out on some possible solutions to this equation. And so we're going to solve it using the right hand side, so we're just going to solve both of these equations separately between 0 and 2 pi. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a rough sketch. So let's solve where sine of x equals 0. So let me draw out my graph of sine of x between 0 and 2 pi. So it goes up to 1, down to negative 1, back to 0. So this is pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. I just like to label on those key points. And where is this graph equal to 0? Where does it output 0? Now you could use your calculator for this, or you could just look at your picture and you can see, well, it does it at 0, at pi, and at 2 pi. And so we get x equals 0, x equals pi, x equals 2 pi. Now let's look, what are we solving between? We're solving for x between 0 and up to and including 2 pi. So we're not including 0, you can see that here. We're not including 0, we're strictly greater than 0, and so I'm going to reject my solution when x equals 0, but I can accept the other two, so these two are good. Let's now solve the other equation, which is where cosine of x is 1. So again, let me draw out my sketch of the graph. So cosine of x starts at 1, goes down to -1 and is back to 1. And let's label on the key points. So I've got pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. So where does it output 1? Well, again, I can see that it's here at 0 and here at 2 pi. So let's make a note of these solutions. So I get x equals 0 and x equals 2 pi. And remember, on the interval we're solving in, we're not including 0, so I'll reject that solution, and we just end up with x equals 2 pi. And so the solutions to this trig equation are x equals pi and x equals 2 pi. And you can see if we divided both sides by sine back up here at this point, we would have completely missed the solution at x equals pi. So hopefully this video was useful. If it was, please do go over to my channel where you can see loads of other maths tutorials. And I'll also link my website in the video description, so you can go over there and navigate through all of my videos in one place. And I think it's a bit easier to find what you want rather than just searching on YouTube. Thanks for watching.